Guys, welcome to another auction weekend. I'm taking you around to all of my auctions once again.
I'm Ian, nice to meet you. Nice to meet you, sir.
We've got auctions in the first half of the day out towards the west side, and then I'm heading back to the east side to wrap up my days.
Hey Hannah, how are you? Very good to meet you.
Yeah.
Ian, very good to meet you. Michael? Oh, how's it going? Ian.
So last week, of course, you saw none of my auctions sold, aside from one that sold prior, and the auction clearance rates dropped from 66% to 62% last week.
I'm at 1,160,000. We formally passed the property, and over here we'll
Spoke to the vendor. We have some new instructions of
That got me thinking, why have we got that drop in clearance rate? A couple of factors, I think. Number one, we're heading into winter. Winter is historically a slower season for real estate. Also, more importantly, is price growth. Melbourne, compared to all other states, seen very stagnant growth.
Sydney and Melbourne up by single digits, Melbourne only 1%.
And in Melbourne, they remained relatively flat at just under 1%.
Melbourne was the only capital city market to record a decline in dwelling values in June.
And I think Melbourne owners are probably expecting that same kind of price growth, just not seeing it in the marketplace. Having their expectations up here while the buyers are down here, those growth numbers certainly explain that. There's another factor at play here as well. So not only do we have that limited price growth, we actually have a lot more listings on the market.
On the other hand, Melbourne listings have risen to be 14% above the 5-year average.
Having more listings to choose from, of course, classic supply and demand. You've got a lot of supply and a limited demand. What that's meaning is that when you don't price your property correctly, buyers are just going to move on to other properties. They've got options there. And so to capture them, you've really got to have your expectations right. And that leads me to what you can do about it as a seller. As a seller, you need to be very decisive in this marketplace. You need to look at the inspection data closely to see how well you've priced the property. If you've priced the property well, you'll see lots of people inspecting, asking for Section 32s and whatnot. If you're not getting people through your house, it means that you've priced your property too high from what the market is expecting. What I'm doing as the auctioneer is getting involved in the auction campaign much earlier to have these conversations, because leaving it into the last week of auction to drop the price and see how you go is too late. Buyers, again, have options and they will move on to other listings over yours if you don't get your pricing right. So it's very important to capture that and be decisive, because it doesn't matter how good your auctioneer is on the day, if there's no bidders because we haven't gotten that pricing right, you're just not going to get a good result from your auction. So that's my take on the marketplace at the moment, and see how today turns out. All right, see you guys there.
Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the team here at Reliance Real Estate, well, matured rise in the beating heart of Hoppers Cross. Without further ado, I am going to hand it over to you now. 550. Thank you very much, sir. Out to the left-hand side. 570. Salil in on top. 610. Sir, I'm going to give you the opportunity to jump back in on 10s. Pretty flat, isn't it? I was expecting a lot more. Sir, I'm going to take your 5 just to get you back in. You've done the right thing by bidding. 620. 40. 40. 45. There we go. 50. $650,000. Let's go get some instructions now. 55. Not done yet. 60. Straight to 60. Makes no sense to jump away now. 660. Not 65. 70s. We're on the market and selling now at $670,000. No better bidder offer we sell here today. Salil, where's our buyer? Are you sure they're out? Because we're on the market. They don't know that. At $670,000, they're absolutely certain they're out. Selling. Sold. Congratulations, round of applause. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the team here at Harcourt Studwide, 32 Rickards Avenue in the beating heart of Knox, who would like to get the auction underway. See there, the bottle goes there too late. If you want to jump in at $850,000, welcome to the auction. We'll keep things moving along now at $900,000 with a vendor bid. You sure you don't want to jump back in? 910. Happy to see you back in, and welcome back to the lead now. At 900 now, we're sure we're all done. Big silent, see you in on a $10,000 bid. Once, twice, third, final time, all done. I'd like to take a pause to the auction. We'll come back and restart it in a moment's time. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for your patience and anticipation while we sort out some further instructions. Now we place a vendor bid at $950,000. The next bid places the property on the market, and we will be selling to the highest bidder. Handing it over to you again for your spirited bidding. Guys, I've seen a lot of conversation pushing ahead here. Confirming we're all done. At 9:50 next bid to do it. Over here as well, we're all done. Thank you very much for your participation. All done here as well. Here, $950,000 next bid puts the property on the market. All done. Finished and absolutely silent here. One last opportunity, Anna. That does conclude our auction. We will formally pass the property in at $950,000 on a vendor bid. I'd like to thank you all for your participation. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday afternoon.
All right, so auction day is done, and we had 2 sold. So first one, we had good bidding. We had 3 bidders, and once we had a 3rd bidder join us, that's when it really took off. And eventually sold under the hammer for $670,000. Great auction. The second one was one where the expectations really mattered. So prior to the auction, I spent about an hour on the phone with the owners, preparing them for the auction. We weren't expecting very strong bidders, and I told them that straight away. We were planning for scenarios where the auction stopped between $950 to $1 million, and also the $900 to $950 range. Now, these are worst case scenarios for them, and even on auction day when they see it unfold, it probably unfolded worse than they expected. But the thing is they had time to discuss and plan and feel it out. What I'm saying is setting very realistic expectations of what to expect when your vendors see that actually take place in your auction. You're not building up a pretty picture for it all to collapse when there's no bids. Before this, owners wanted over $1 million. Now, again, coming down to the realistic, I painted a picture. We've only got bids up until probably about 900 to 950, and probably even less than that. So what are you going to do? And, maybe we get up to 950 to $1 million and you've got an even tougher decision to make because it's very close to your price. What are you going to do? And so breaking that down, helping them to realize that that's the case, and they might be holding on to that 950 to $1 million or $1 million to $1 million and their price. But I just kept reminding them, we're not expecting that. And on auction day, we saw that because the last bid we got was 910. So when they're seeing that unfold, what can they do but to realize you've been all but truthful with them? I've given my expert opinion and prediction on what's going to happen on auction day, but you've ultimately got to make the decision as the owner on if you want to sell them. It's taking a lot of pressure off of the in-the-moment decision. So set those realistic expectations. You'll still have good auctions and you still will have sales. It's about painting the picture so that your vendors, they understand what each option looks like for them, not just today, but the next 6 to 12 months as well. All right, that's my auction wrap. It's a bit of a tough day, big long day for me, but there's my auctions. Thank you for tuning in. Hope you had a good time, and I'll see you in the next week.